The Chargers are back.
The Chargers are back, yeah.
The Chargers are back.
Welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. Say what's up to Stacy, the host. Always keeping it real though. Rocking with the Chargers since 78. From San Diego up to 5 Mount LA State. Powder blues clean. Don't let the colors fool you. Jim Harbaugh running the show. Yeah, the coach is brutal. Back to back double digit wins. Set the tone. Lost a few pieces, but we locked in. Fully loaded zone. Eyes on the future. Yeah, we speak it into heaven. Super Bowl is so far. 2027. I'm saying your team sidelines nervous. Yeah, they know what it be. Mike McDaniel in the offense scheming like demons, huh? Chris O'Leary in the building.
Defense! Defense!
Yeah, 3 about to tell us what this team really meant. Playoff run longer, yeah, we put them to sleep. If you want Chargers everything, this is the place to be. Chargers Talk 4630. Nobody's got it better than us. Make sure and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
This episode of Chargers Talk 4630 is brought to you by Zevo Life, the exclusive patented superfood changing the way people fuel their bodies. Now listen, if you're looking for a game-changing way to improve your health, Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant. We're talking over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and powerful antioxidants, all in one natural source. Just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts your energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. And the best part, people everywhere are giving it a 5-star review because it works. So if you're ready to feel the difference, head over to Zevo.life and start your journey with their 30-day risk-free guarantee. And because you're a loyal listener of this podcast, you get an exclusive 30% discount. Just use my code ChargeTalk4630 at checkout. That's without the R. That's ChargeTalk4630. Take control of your health today with Zevo Life. Your body will thank you. Hello and good evening and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time visiting us and you want to support the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. All right, before we get into the Chargers and the NFL free agency frenzy, we got some breaking news that just came down as I started to record this podcast. The deal between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens involving star pass rusher Max Crosby that would have sent him to Baltimore in exchange for 2 first-round picks is now off. The Max Crosby deal to the Baltimore Ravens is now dead. Wow. That news just came down, so I started to record, and I was sitting in front of the computer, and I'm ready to go to work, and my phone is just blowing up. I'm like, well, maybe the Chargers did something. Let me pull my device and see what's going on. And that came across the screen. And when I saw it coming from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero, I knew that it was legit. Wow, that is stunning. That is stunning. I have some things I want to talk to you about what went on with the Chargers. I was on social media, and social media is on fire right now. But it looks like maybe this Max Crosby news with the trade being dead is now off. It puts the Max Crosby and the Raiders and the Ravens, it puts all their news to the front, and the Chargers could take a back seat, because when I tell you that the Charger fans and the fan base have exploded on X and on TikTok and on Instagram, I mean, I totally get it. I understand. But with the Raiders and the Ravens, both teams have now backed out of the agreement, and now Max Crosby remains with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Ravens get to keep their 2 first-round picks. Wow. That is a huge development, because a move like that would have completely shaken up the pass rusher market right before free agency. Now with Max Crosby staying put in Las Vegas, it changes the landscape a bit for teams around the league that are looking to add edge rushers, right? We can talk about that a little more later, but right now, I want to have a conversation with you. Before we get into everything that's been happening with free agency, I want to start by discussing the last few days. I've been at this for 48 seasons now, and if you've been riding with this team for any length of time, you know it's been a journey. It's been some great moments, and there's also been plenty of frustrating moments along the way. For most of those years, whenever something happened with the team, right, that frustrated me, whether it was a tough loss or a decision by the front office or something during the offseason, I really didn't have anyone to talk to about it. I don't know many Charger fans where I live, so there wasn't anyone I could just pick up the phone and call to vent to, right, when something was irritating me so much about the team. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons I started doing this podcast a little over 3 years ago. Doing this podcast has always been like therapy for me. It gives me a chance to talk things through, share my thoughts, and connect with other Charger fans who care about this team just as much as I do. And over the years, interacting with you guys on social media and through the podcast has always made it feel like we all in this thing together, right? And leading up to free agency this year, I know a lot of you felt the same excitement that I did. The Chargers cleared out cap space, moved contracts around. They cleaned up the books so they would be in a really strong financial position. This team had a lot of money available, third most in the league, and the expectation from the fan base that this was the offseason where we could finally add the pieces that was needed to take this team to the next level. Especially when it comes to protecting Justin Herbert, right, and making a deeper run in the playoffs. Now, if you've listened to me over the last couple of years, you know I've usually been the voice of reason when things wasn't going well, especially under Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco. I've been the guy telling everyone to hang in there, trust the process, trust Jim Harbaugh, give the front office time to build the roster the right way. But I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you today. Right now, in this moment, I can't just say trust the process because I know that's not what a lot of you are feeling right now. And honestly, it wasn't exactly what I was feeling after these first 2 days either. When Monday got here, a lot of Charger fans was excited, and so was I. We expected some real moves, especially on the offensive line, after we struggled so bad to protect Justin Herbert last season. When those moves didn't happen, Charger Nation exploded on social media. And I'll be honest, I was pretty pissed too, I'm not going to lie. But I've had a lot of time to sleep on it, calm down, and think things through. So tonight I want to talk through this with you guys about the days leading up to free agency, what actually happened Monday when things got started, what we saw today, and where this team stands right now. And hopefully by the end of this conversation, maybe we could feel a little bit better before we heard this podcast. I know a lot of you woke up frustrated today, and I understand why. The Chargers came into free agency with a lot of money to spend, and fans expected to see at least 2 or 3 moves. When you have that kind of money available, expectations is high, right? Especially when this team still has some clear needs on the offensive line, at linebacker, secondary, and defensive line. So when Monday rolled around and we watched guards, defensive linemen, linebackers, impact players signing all over the league, a lot of Charger fans were sitting there asking the same question. What exactly is the plan? Before the free agency frenzy started Monday, the Chargers actually did make a few moves over the weekend. Now, some of that cap money was used to re-sign Tier Tart for a $30 million 3-year contract. They signed former Commander center Tyler Biadasse also to a 3-year $30 million deal. Added one of the best fullbacks in football in Alec Ingold, and brought back Khalil Mack on a 1-year deal worth about $18 million. They also re-signed defensive back Kendall Williamson, and they added an exclusive rights tender on Kamani Vidal, assuring he's on the roster for the 2026 season. Now, had they done all these moves on yesterday, it would have felt like they were actually making moves on Monday, right? It just appeared they wasn't doing anything because these moves were made prior to the beginning of the frenzy, which started yesterday. But it all came from the same salary cap money. Those are also solid moves, but they didn't address what many people believe is the biggest issue on this roster, and that's the offensive line. Now, last month, Bradley Bozeman retired, we know that, and just a few days before the free agency started, the Chargers released Mekhi Becton. Then once free agency opened, the Chargers lost Zion Johnson, who was expected to sign with the Cleveland Browns, and edge rusher Odafe Oweh, who signed a massive 4-year deal with the Washington Commanders, right? So when you look at the offensive line right now, outside the tackles, there really isn't a clear interior group set. They did re-sign Trevor Penning and former Dolphins guard Cole Strange, who has the ability to play guard or tackle. Now, I'm assuming Penning and Strange is for depth, right? Because I can't see them being the starting guards if the Chargers are serious about protecting Justin Herbert. And that's a big reason why Charger fans are frustrated right now. Day 2 of free agency today was also pretty quiet for the Chargers. No major moves, no big signings, and that only added to the feeling that the team might be sitting back while the rest of the league is getting better. Now, some of that remaining cap space will probably go toward extensions because we know Derwin James and Tuli Tuipulotu, they both are eligible for new deals, and those are 2 players you definitely don't want to lose. But it still raises a bigger question about the overall strategy. For the last couple of seasons, the Chargers were tight against the salary cap. We know that. They had big contracts and couldn't really do much in free agency. So they did what they had to do, signing players to 1-year prove-it deals. And honestly, that strategy worked pretty well. Some of those players had bounce-back seasons and went on to sign big deals elsewhere. But this year is different. Now the Chargers have money. And when you have cap space like this, free agency is sometimes the moment where you have to overpay a little bit, right? That's just the reality of the NFL. Most players want to hit free agency at least once in their career because that's when they get paid. That's when they get the bag. And if you're trying to get over the hump as a team, sometimes you pay that extra $3 to $5 million per year for a player who fills a need and improves your roster. So the question Charger fans are asking right now, to me, is simple. Are the Chargers trying to win championships? Or are they just content with being a playoff team? Because right now, this roster is probably good enough to have a solid regular season and maybe make the playoffs. But are they good enough to win 2 playoff games? That may be the difference. Maybe the Chargers plan to address these needs in the draft, and that's fine. The draft is important. We know that. But there's a big difference between draft picks and proven veterans. With veterans, you know what you're getting. They've done it in the NFL. There's film. There's production, right? With draft picks, you're projecting and you're hoping. And if the Chargers want to change the mood of the fan base right now, there's one move that could do it instantly. Go sign Trey Hendrickson to a 2-year deal. Why not? Why not? You got the money. You need another pass rusher. He's proven, he's productive, and a move like that immediately tells the fan base one thing. The team is trying to win right now. So I understand why Charger fans are frustrated today. You see players signing everywhere. You know your team has money, and naturally, you want to see that money used to make the team better. Now, one positive thing is free agency isn't over yet. There are still players available. There are still moves that can be made. And, of course, the draft is still coming. You'll have guys cut after the draft, but we really let some difference makers that could have made us a lot better had we just been willing to spend a little more money. If the Chargers make a couple of key additions, especially on that offensive line, the conversation about this team could change pretty quickly. Because free agency is the one time in the NFL where sometimes you have to overpay. It's what free agency has always been about. That's just the price of doing business in the National Football League. But one thing is clear. If the Chargers want to protect Justin Herbert and make a real playoff run, this roster still needs a lot of work. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys feel a little bit better after this podcast. And let's hope that tomorrow we make some significant moves that can help this team and give us the confidence that we could trust that you have a plan and we understand the plan. And that plan is to make this roster good enough where we can be a team that goes on a long playoff run. I'm out, y'all. I need to get me some rest. I need to get me something to eat. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you soon. But once again, breaking news. Breaking news. The deal with the Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens is now off. The deal is now dead. Max Crosby goes back to the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Baltimore Ravens 2 draft picks, first-round selections, go back to the... What a crazy day. What could have happened? I don't know. Was Max Crosby still injured? You know he went out halfway through the season last year. Did those injuries pop up when it was time for his medical exam? Something happened that made the Ravens and the Raiders both agree the deal is off. What happens from here, I have no idea, but this is crazy. I'll talk to you guys soon.